If you were watching Counterstrike during 2018 to 2019, then you know that Astralis were simply the best team in the world and revolutionized the way the game is played through their smart use of utility, team communication, and each individual player just being a beast at the game.
Dead on Crims. This could be the ticket for Astralis. These grenades could do all of the work for them. 3 of them going over the wall, 1 on Exist, 1 on Crims. Everybody's catching fire. Twist goes down, and there it is. They close it right out.
After winning the E-League Atlanta Major against VP in 2017, it looked as though the Astralis roster would be untouchable, as just 2 months later they go on to win IEM Katowice, beating out a strong FaZe clan. But out of nowhere, one of their players, Kirby, left the team to join another Danish org, North. Astralis were quick to sign another player and picked up Magisk, who had previously played on North and Optic Gaming. Magisk had huge shoes to fill, but Kirby leaving turned out to be a blessing in disguise for the Astralis org, as these 5 players would soon take over the Counter-Strike world. Their debut year, each player on the team made their way onto the HLTV top 20 best players, becoming the first and only team to do so. Despite their successes at majors, the team never managed to win in the cathedral of Counter-Strike, always falling short in the semifinals, and it continues to be something that the organization and the former players are so hungry for. Following the arrival of Magisk on Team Astralis, all it took was 3 tournaments before the team won their first big event at DreamHack Masters Marseilles against Navi. After DreamHack, Astralis qualified for ESL Pro League Season 7 by being one of the top 7 teams of the online European Pro League. A few weeks later, the team would get their first second place finish at Sydney, losing 0-3 in the finals against FaZe Clan. But why win 1 LAN when you can win 2 back-to-back, winning Pro League and ECS finals against Team Liquid? Only 4 months into the team, and they've already won 3 trophies together. The next tournament would be ESL Cologne 2018, the lineup's first attempt at conquering the cathedral. And going into this event, there was no doubt behind anyone's mind who the number 1 team was. But hold up, right behind Astralis, there were 2 other teams fighting for the number 1 spot, FaZe and Navi. All 3 teams had won a LAN each the month prior, and so the fight was on for the best team to win. The 3 teams all made it through the semifinals, with FaZe going up against hometown heroes Big, and the ultimate showdown of Astralis vs Navi in the semifinals, number 1 player versus number 1 team. Overpass is map number 1, and after a strong 3 rounds from Astralis, Navi are quick to come back and overtake the half, eventually winning 13-16. Map 2 is Nuke, and this was a strong showing from Astralis, leading all game, sending the series to a 3rd map, Inferno. And who do you expect to pop off from either side? Zeus, of course. Navi's captain goes absolutely ballistic and shuts down Astralis' cathedral dreams.
Against the odds, Navi face down Astralis and walk away the victors.
The lineup always comes back stronger though. First place in E-League Premier, second place in DreamHack Masters Stockholm, where Kirby gets a victory over his old team with North, but Astralis' trophy cabinet is just getting started. Astralis and Navi meet again in the Faceit London Major Finals, and what came out of it was a crushing defeat for the Ukrainian side. 16-6 on Nuke, 16-9 on Overpass. Astralis swept every team in the playoffs, and the original 4 players all earned their second major, while Magisk earned his first. For most teams, winning a major usually is their peak of greatness, but like I've said before, Astralis were just getting started. While they won at Blast Pro Istanbul, they take a 3rd place finish at Blast Copenhagen, the first time they hadn't reached the finals since failing to win in Cologne. Next stop after Copenhagen was IEM Chicago, where Astralis beat Liquid in their 4th final encounter. Now hold on. Remember the first LAN they won, DreamHack Marseilles? By winning this LAN, it set them on the path of becoming the first team to win an Intel Grand Slam, winning it near the end of the year at Pro League Odense. The Intel Grand Slam was a $1 million prize for winning 4 S-tier tournaments within a 10 tournament window. ESL and DreamHack tournaments used to count towards the Grand Slam, but today it is reserved for IEM/ESL organized events. In the first event of 2019, Team Liquid finally managed to break their finals losing streak to Astralis and win iBuyPower Masters 4. But next in the calendar is the Katowice Major. Astralis advanced to the playoffs 3-0, losing only a single map to Renegades and delivering a 16-0 to Cloud9 in the process. Astralis were looking scary. In the quarterfinals, Astralis nearly 16-0'd NIP, but are stopped and end map 1 16-2 and map 2 16-14. The next day, Astralis were 2-0 MIBR and have now earned their spot in the finals. On the other side of the tournament, ENCE were capturing the hearts of the CS world with their miraculous run all the way to the grand finals. The final boss was now Astralis. Astralis, however, weren't going to lose a major final, and they go on to win their 3rd major as an org, joining Fnatic as the only teams to win 3 separate majors.
In my opinion, this is the most competitive era of Counter-Strike we've ever had. Dozens of teams paid to be pro full-time, analysts, coaches, sports psychologists. It doesn't matter. None of these teams can match Astralis. 12-0 in the playoffs in the last 2 majors.
For many, this is where the Astralis era ended, as between this major and the next in Berlin, the team would skip out on events in favor of prioritizing Blast organized tournaments. They skipped out on Sydney 2019 and DreamHack Dallas. both of which were won by Team Liquid, leading to them winning NA's only Grand Slam. But this isn't about Liquid. Astralis have pretty much won every event a player and org would hope to win, and they really don't have anything left to prove. But they still had one more major in their horizon to get to before the team and the world around them came crumbling down. Liquid and Astralis would meet again in the finals of Sao Paulo, with Astralis taking home the trophy this time. Another blast event in Miami would see an uncommon outcome for Astralis, their first direct 4th place placement since 2017. And after Miami, most teams went and competed at IEM Sydney or at DreamHack Masters. But as mentioned, Astralis chose to skip out of these events. Other teams were now getting the main focus as the Danes appeared at fewer tournaments and their placements began to fall. ENCE would have the rematch against Astralis in the finals of Blast Pro Madrid, winning 2-0 and bringing an end to the 30-map win streak on Nuke in the process. The next tournament after wasn't any better for them. Astralis had now won ECS 2 times in a row and were obvious favorites against their matchup against Brazilian team Furia. It looked like any other easy trip to the playoffs for Astralis. Map 1 was taken by Astralis 16-12, and Map 2 was won by Furia 16-10. The deciding map, Nuke,
He knows he's going to take him down at 35 seconds, and he's off down to 4 health from that jump.
What's he jumped off like that for?
Has he lost his mind? What is going on? And now coming out of mini, Device has got the angle better. Oh, but he picks it up.
was won by Furia even after a 69.5 in Astralis' favor. ESL Pro League was around the corner, but again, Astralis failed to deliver. As you can see by the results, the Astralis magic was beginning to dwindle, and soon enough, the team was back in Cologne. Astralis are seated at the top of their group, and this time managed to win their advancement match, placing them directly in the semifinals. The rest of the playoffs were stacked. Navi versus NIP, with the winners going on to face Liquid, and Energy versus Vitality, with the winner of that facing off against Astralis. Vitality had only one S-tier victory under their belt, having just won ECS Season 7. They put a lot of faith into their star player Zaibu, and did he deliver?
But it has been beautiful to watch. Now Dupree trying to creep in, and it is Saiwu to shut him down. Finding no luck here, no welcome. A second kill, he steals it away again.
Astralis were out of the tournament, and it seemed as though Astralis just couldn't find winning ways again. Their second attempt as a team at the Cathedral, and even after all the tournaments won, this one still managed to slip through their fingers. Next on the calendar was the Major, and despite the poor results the last few tournaments, on the biggest stage, Astralis showed they are still capable of competing at the highest level, and became the first team to ever win 4 majors. With this major win solidifying them as the best team to ever play the game. By the end of 2019, Astralis have reclaimed their spot as the #1 team in the world, ending the year with 6 tournament wins total. Blast Global Final 2019 will be the last tournament that this lineup would win together, and on April 23, 2021, Device would leave the team and transfer over to Ninjas and Pajamas, bringing an end to an era for Astralis. Device had a short-lived run on NIP, and since last year he has been back on Astralis, where he is the only remaining member from this dominant lineup. He is now going to in-game lead the team while continuing to op. Astralis have never managed to reach even a fraction of the success that they had found from 2017 to 2019, with the team's last offline win being a show match event against NIP for Copenhagen Gaming Week 2024. Astralis have failed to attend the past 3 majors, and just when you think the org can't reach a new low, they surprise the community by showing us that they can. Cologne seems to be the only tournament that the org remains consistent in, however, managing 3 semi-final runs in a row since 2021. All of these runs happened under different lineups, and today 4 of the former Astralis players are on different teams. Glaive has returned to in-game lead Team ENCE, speaking entirely in English. Dupree took a gamble with Prezi Esports and is now signed over to Team Falcons, joining his former teammate Magisk. And Zipix returns as the only non-player, instead becoming an assistant coach for Mousesports. Even though they are no longer under the same banner, a victory in Cologne eludes each of these players equally, and only time will tell which of the 5 will earn it first.